It is Saturday, February 13th, 2021, and we have an extremely busy day just for you. This is the Early Edge, powered by SportsLine. I'm your host, the Coach. We do it every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Coming off kind of a ho-hum Friday, start off like a house of fire, 3-0, and then kind of stumbled to the finish line. But I told you today was busy. It's so busy, one show's just not enough. Right now, in your feed, we did a special UFC 258 only episode of the Early Edge. Go check it out with our man Ian Parker for all of his best bets on the big UFC card later tonight. But for this show, let's bring in my cappers right now. You know the names, you know the faces. Right below me, he's M Squared. Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning, Coach. Going to be a really fun Saturday. College basketball, NBA, golf, UFC, a little hockey. I cannot wait.
Boom. Speaking of golf, our man right next to me, the great host of the First Cut podcast, he is Rick Run Good. Rick G, what's up, man?
Coach, yeah, looking forward to this. We're getting into a groove every Wednesday and Saturday with golf. It's all good, and we've got a special one on tap for today.
I say we do it all or try to in 10 minutes or less. The clock has started. So let's get into the storylines that could affect the betting lines today. M Squared, let's start with you.
Slow day in the NBA today, but there are a few noteworthy injury situations to monitor. Victor Oladipo out for the Houston Rockets. John Wall has been upgraded to probable. He should play, but PJ Tucker has popped up on the injury report. He is important for them defensively. Kevin Durant is slated to return for the Brooklyn Nets. Draymond Green tweeted last night, drunk at the bar, had a little eyeball emoji moment. That's something to potentially monitor. And DeAndre Jordan is also out for the Brooklyn Nets. And then for the Miami Heat, Goran Dragic is still out as they take on the Utah Jazz on the second night of a back-to-back. They might get Mike Conley back. That's something to watch as this line is teetering around 5.5. It could go all the way up to 6.5 to 7. So keep your eye on that this afternoon.
I am wondering when the Jazz are going to make us believers, because they keep making the entire world non-believers as they continue to cover night after night. All right, kind of under the radar this week, but the Daytona 500, is tomorrow. Any news here, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the Daytona 500, the thing that I want a lot of, if you're new to betting on NASCAR, don't be discouraged by a driver's starting position, right? So, at Daytona, the starting position really does not matter. You will see drivers move 10 to 15 spots literally in one lap here on these restrictor plate super speedway tracks. So another thing that's going on here also is Denny Hamlin has won back-to-back Daytona 500s, and he had a top 5 finish at Talladega, the 2 super speedway tracks. His recent performance, while it has been good, is likely a little bit unsustainable, but it is affecting the betting lines to the point where we have pretty significant value on some of the next tier of drivers. And I'm going to be looking pretty heavily at the Penske boys this week.
All right, very good. Keep that in mind. Maybe we'll have a little something for people tomorrow on Sunday's episode. All right, Rick. We are in third round at Pebble Beach. We know the wins are going to come. Give people a little idea of what they should be looking for today before they place their bets.
Yeah, I'm certainly no meteorologist, Coach, but I can play one on TV. And you look at what's going to happen at Pebble Beach today, and the forecast is a bit iffy. 25% chance of rain. That's down from 70, so that's good. But winds still in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range with gusts, quote, up to 40 miles an hour. If you're talking about golf, an outdoor sport where your little white ball can be impacted by wind, you are certainly in trouble. So my big takeaway is this, especially from Pebble Beach, which is super exposed. It's right there on the coast. There could be chaos. Some of the things that are usually more in the control of a golfer, like their shot trajectory, might be out of their control with these winds. So I'm kind of looking a bit more towards underdogs, a little bit of chaos for this Saturday with the wind conditions that we have. So that's my storyline, Coach, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. There could be a lot of guys in that 3, 4, and 5 range that could make a jump up if they get the better conditions in the morning. I'm looking forward to your picks coming up in just a second. But first, we got a couple of great contests that we are starting, and we want you to be a part of it. The first one is we're giving away 5 year-long subscriptions to SportsLine, and we're doing it on Monday. So you have a final couple of days to make this happen. Go over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, put your pick in to win for the 2022 Super Bowl. Then leave your Twitter handle or your Instagram handle, because we got to be able to get a hold of you, and then you got to follow SportsLine as well. That's the easy part. You do that, you could win a year-long subscription and get all the cappers and all the simulations. Now, we're also starting something specific to this show called the Perfect Parlay Contest. Go to our YouTube page if you watch us on video. Leave your best bet that day. If our cappers are perfect for the entire show, then we're going to give away a year-long subscription. We call it the Perfect Parlay Contest. You don't want to miss a day because you just never know when our cappers are going to be perfect. Okay, now it's time for our plays today. We start, as always, with the SportsLine play of the day, which was last night was a little bit off with the Atlanta Hawks. But today, we're going to hockey. Lightning and the Panthers over 5.5, 7 p.m. Eastern, drop of the puck. This is a graded A play at SportsLine. It hits in 60% of our simulations. And then a second SportsLine play, Syracuse minus 11.5 against Boston College. That's from Mike Tierney. He is 28, 19-1 in his last 48 picks. Syracuse looked really, really good on the road against NC State their last time out. It's now time for our boards. Miss M Squared, give it to me.
Yes, slow day in the NBA, so we've got a couple college basketball picks to start us off. Iowa, minus 4.5 against Michigan State. This is a rematch from a couple of games ago where Iowa did fail to cover. So Michigan State has been on the rebound a little bit. They've won back-to-back games. However, they failed to cover in both of those, while Iowa failed to cover in 3 straight. So they failed to cover against Ohio State and Indiana, and then this Michigan State team, right? But they had a huge bounce-back performance last time out. I'm looking for them to have another massive performance again. If you had taken that spot where they were like 2 points short of one basket short of covering in those 2 games against Iowa State or Ohio State and Indiana, this line would be -7. It would not be -4.5 against Michigan State here. My simulations make it -6.7. I looked at the SportsLine model, makes it -9. I'm very comfortable laying -4.5 with Iowa. I like them a lot in this spot. And then my second game here, I'm going to be, let's see. I lost the West Virginia.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was West Virginia. I was looking at this West Virginia and Oklahoma game here. West Virginia -2.5. This Oklahoma team went in there and was able to beat them there, but I like West Virginia in the spot -2.5. I make this game -5.2 in my simulations. I think that West Virginia is the better, more disciplined team, and that's going to lead to them winning this game here. I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled away and won by double digits, but I do make it just over -5. And then in the NBA, you mentioned the Atlanta Hawks. I'm looking for a repeat performance of last night. I'm hoping we can get that there. I like the Indiana Pacers. We took them earlier this week in a spot where they should have bounced back, and they did. I like them getting the Hawks, who are on the second night of a back-to-back here. -1.5 for the Pacers. I make it -3.2. Look for Domantas Sabonis and Malcolm Brogdon to sneak back up into the mid to upper 30s in minutes. They had a stretch of about 3 games where they were only playing 32, 33 minutes, and that was not working out well at all for the Pacers. So look for those guys to have extended minutes against this Hawks team on the back-to-back. They should pull away and cover this one late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Atlanta has a bunch of young players. They're talented, but they don't always respond well on back-to-back opportunities. All right, Rick G, time for some golf. What do you got, pal?
All right, let's do it, Coach. I'm laser focused on 2 separate 3 balls. So those are Saturday round only 3 balls. I'm going with Max Homa at +150 over Francesco Molinari and Vincent Whaley. The way that I look at this is all about ball striking. And Max Homa has gained 2.2 strokes on approach in his 1 measured round this week. That's where we have the laser set up. That's the best of anybody in this group. And when you're going to get windy conditions, you're going to need to hit that heavy ball. You're going to need to flush it. You're going to need to control your trajectory. And that's what Max Homa has been doing this week. That tees off at 11:58 a.m. Eastern time. And then I'm going with Tom Lewis. Hold on to your pants. Tom Lewis +333 over Paul Casey and Patrick Cantlay. This has to be the longest odds of a 3 ball that we've ever discussed on this show, and I think it's warranted in today's conditions. Tom Lewis is playing great. He beat Paul Casey's Pebble Beach score. He beat Patrick Cantlay's Spyglass Hill score, so this is not like a complete dart throw. You're introducing this a factor of wind and weather that we don't know a lot about. And Tom Lewis is 6th in the field in strokes gained tee to green this week. He's an Englishman. The weather is not going to be bothering him. He resides on the European Tour. He plays a lot over there. This is prime conditions for him. That tees off at 1:04 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm just embracing the volatility and embracing the chaos, Coach.
For all of you who complain that we just give minus odds, sometimes we'll find some value, but don't scream it as if it doesn't come through. We're trying to give you value with pretty big odds that you don't get very often. As Rick G just said, this is a game, and sometimes you got to play it. All right, it's that time. We're up against it. Grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is our recap. Let's start with M squared. He likes the Iowa Hawkeyes to bounce back against Michigan State, only laying 4.5. West Virginia against OU, -2.5. And the Pacers only giving 1.5 against the Hawks. Rick Run Good. Rick G likes Max Homa in a three-way. All of these odds from William Hill over Francisco Molinari and Vincent Whaley. That comes back at +150 for Homa. And Tom Lewis in that three-way over Paul Casey and Patrick Cantlay, +333. Sometimes you just got to do it. And then our SportsLine plays of the day. In hockey, the Lightning and Panthers over 5.5, and Syracuse laying 11.5 against Boston College. You've got your marching orders. Let's take every single ticket straight to the pay window. And don't forget about our UFC 258 only episode with Ian Parker that's in your feed right now. It's going to be a full day. Follow us on social media for any changes, any bets we might add, but just enjoy it because this is what it's all about. For M Squared, for Rick G, for Chief, our mascot, for the jeweler, our producer, I am the coach. This is your only place. Let's have a day for your daily early edge. Good luck.